So, South Africa, job done. We are closer now to the World Cup qualification, and we've done what we can do for this particular series. And it's now not in our hands anymore. It's now in the hands of other teams, and that's where we are sitting currently with this particular situation. But South Africa did everything that they can do and what they could do for this particular series. And we have to be very proud of the way they performed. I mean, a lot of us were a bit nervous given the performance against the Netherlands in the T20 World Cup. We were hoping that our team was ruthless in this particular series, and I have to give it to them. They were. And so today we're going to be speaking about this particular, the Pink Day ODI and the series as a whole to summarize this cricket summer so far and to summarize this particular series, because it was very important for us as a South African unit to see Rob Walter finally get a series win under his belt in an ODI in the ODI format. So it was really nice to see that from a South African point of view and from a Proteas point of view. But before we get going today, before we get started, there's a couple of things that I'd like you guys to please do. Please subscribe to this channel. Please click that notification bell for all future videos. What I want you guys also to do is to please smash the like button, comment, and share. It's very important that you guys do so. For us, it will really help us in the algorithm on YouTube, etc. So please go ahead and do that right now. And also, what I want you guys to please do is download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. Temba Bavuma is on the front cover of the latest issue, and it's all about the new era. So please go ahead and have a look at that and see what you think about this particular issue, because it will teach you a lot about the coach's mentality and some of the players, and especially the newer players in the side. So go ahead and have a look at that particular issue as well. What I also need you guys to please do is also help us promote and grow South African cricket by becoming a patron today. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. And then also go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. I'm looking forward to discussing everything with you guys. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your review show. I'm your host, Khalid, and this is the show where we talk about everything that has to do with the pink ODI between South Africa and the Netherlands. But on top of it, it's also a kind of a wrap of the season so far, because we know we're only going to play again, I think it is in August. So against Australia, that will be our next series, I think. So yeah, we're going to be discussing everything about the series so far, about the season so far, what we liked, what we didn't like, which players stood out, which players didn't. It will be a nice little discussion with you guys as well in the comment section. And I'm going to get callers on the show as well if they want to have their say too. So let me just give you a quick summary of this particular match. So ultimately, this was what took place. South Africa were put into bat after losing the toss, and it was what a lot of us would have wanted. I mean, even if we won the toss, I think a lot of you guys actually said in the live chat in the preview show that you would like us to elect to bat first, because you want to see if we can get past that 300 mark. South Africa did that today, but I do have some criticisms. I'm not going to just sit here and just say it was a wonderful performance. Oh, it was a great batting performance, because that's kind of what you'll see from the different social media accounts that spoke about this game. This game was basically, particularly with the batting, this innings was dominated by two players. That is Markram and Miller. There was a collapse at the beginning. It made me question whether the wicket was poor, whether it was stacky in the middle at the beginning of the game, and whether it was bad bowling or good bowling. If it was good bowling or bad batting, that was the cause of our particular collapse. Now, I think it's a bit of everything in this match. Yes, there was some bad shot selection with regards to the loss of wickets. But I also think that what was very important in this match is that the wicket got easier to bat on as the day went along. The sun baked on the Wanderers pitch, and we know that affects it heavily. And I think it got a lot easier for our batters to actually be more free flowing. I think also that the Netherlands missed a trick with Kingma. At the beginning of his spell, he was really bowling extremely well, getting quick wickets, and then they changed it and brought on the spinners, which kind of opened up the game in a way for South Africa. Allowed us to get back into the match, allowed Markram to get back in the match, as well as Klaassen at the time, and then eventually Miller also coming in and doing a fantastic job. Hats off goes to Aiden Markram. A fantastic performance by Aiden today. I mean, as you can see, 175 of 126 deliveries. I saw Werner tweet something actually earlier on about it being exactly the same amount, exactly the same score as Herschel Gibbs actually, when he scored his 175, which is an interesting thing because a lot of people want to compare players and talk about players that we want from the past. And Aiden Markram, in his 50th match, put on an excellent performance and finally got his maiden 100 that we all were waiting for. It was an incredible performance. It was an incredible um, balanced performance, I think, because he showed every part of his game. In all fairness, he actually showed me the Aiden Markram that I knew for so many years. I mean, the Aiden Markram that I've always ranted and raved about in domestic cricket. That was the Aiden Markram we actually got today. And I don't think we should disrespect the Netherlands because I think they bowled pretty decently ultimately. I think they bowled actually quite well. So I don't think that we should actually be completely, how can I say, I don't think we should completely talk badly about the Netherlands, about their performance, because I think that they did a great job, particularly with the ball. With the bat, they could have been better. I mean, there has to be some praise that goes to some of their batters, and I want to give some praise to one particular batter in their lineup, and that is Musa Ahmed. And the reason why I think that he should get praise is because of Anrich Nokia's spell to him. He knocked him on his ribs, on his shoulder, on his elbow, like all over the place. He got smacked in the. He was moving out of the way, out of bounces, trying to dodge the bounces. And for me personally, I think that was for him to go on and still score 61 of 69 deliveries for his team. I think they deserve some praise for that and the way he performed. With the ball, however, we have to talk about Sasanda Magala. He was accurate today. He was ruthless today. A lot of wickets that actually were bowled and not only like caught in the slips or caught in the outfield. He actually bowled, got a lot of wickets bowling them out and hitting the off stump, hitting the middle stump, etc. So he was perfection actually today. We also have to give it some credit to Aiden Markram over there, the golden arm of Aiden Markram, who came in and took crucial wickets at a crucial time in the game. So I think overall South Africa played really well. I mean, David Miller, under pressure once again, putting on a performance in a match that is a must win for South Africa. So where does that leave us? Well, this is where it leaves us. It leaves us ninth on the table with the West Indies, Sri Lanka, Ireland, Zimbabwe, and the Netherlands below us. But that match between Ireland and Bangladesh is going to be a very important one. As it stands, we are qualified in this as it stands. But if Ireland beat Bangladesh 3-0, then South Africa will be out and have to qualify for the World Cup and play qualifiers. Ultimately, we don't want that particular instant to happen because it's going to go obviously on wins, and then because of wins, we'll be on equal wins with the likes of like other teams. So what's going to be we're going to be on equal wins, sorry, to Ireland if they win their 3 games, and then it's going to go obviously on wins and not on run rate. Ultimately, I think that South Africa I don't want to jinx it now and say that we are probably qualified, but I would hope that Bangladesh can at least beat Ireland once. I know it's in the UK that the series will be played, but I'm hoping that they can at least win one game so that South Africa can qualify for the World Cup. But before I get the first caller on the show, because he can't stay for long, I just want to go through some of the live chats here before we get him on. Watching Markram and Miller innings live was nothing short of incredible. Tell me more about that experience, bro. I would really like to hear about what it was like to be at the Pink Day. And Magala's 5, truly excellent. Finally, Aiden. Hey, Khalid, bro. Congrats. We did it. Fiery, fiery Aiden. What an innings from him. Aditya says, slap the Aiden haters. Now everyone will understand why I love Aiden Markram's batting so much. I mean, I've been a huge fan of him as well and been advocating for him to be in the sides. But sometimes, in cricket and in sport, and I hope this teaches people lessons about the sport. Sometimes it's worth it to give players extended runs. Sometimes it's worth it. It's been worth it with Pavuma now. It's been worth it with Aiden Markram in this team. So sometimes I think we need to be a little bit more acceptant of certain things, especially when batters are getting themselves out rather than getting out because of technical flaws or because of the bowlers like trapping them. Aiden Markram in ODI cricket got himself out in majority of his games. I think he was caught out in the deep and caught out in certain areas closer to the wicket on many occasions. The majority of his dismissals have been because he got himself out. So that obviously shows a sign that there was something lacking. But now we've got a 50 yesterday, I mean, in the previous match, and then following that up with a 175, which I think is a fantastic thing to do in two matches that were so important to South Africa. Will there be an ODI series other than the one against Australia before the World Cup? It hasn't been confirmed yet. There are things being discussed between South Africa and nations, from what I've heard. Enoch is trying to organize certain things and trying to let certain things happen. So we'll see what happens with regards to that, and if that actually takes place, and if we have any other matches. I know that there's talks about emerging and ASA tours, etc., as well on the cards. We need to bring Bloemfontein for Shamo. Um, Shamo didn't bowl to. I mean, Shamo was inconsistent again in ODIs. I have an issue with him in ODIs, but um, I still do believe that there's a player in there that can really be star quality, particularly in T20s as well. That X factor that he has by being a wrist spinner is very important. But on certain wickets, particularly in South Africa, he's going to be exposed. So I'm hoping that he can show his qualities against Australia if they do select him for that. I mean, we know that Keshav Maharaj is currently injured, and I don't think he'll be ready by then. I'm not sure. We'll have to check his progress. Also, 2 wickets by Aiden. Yes, I've mentioned that. So he got hammered by Anna. Oh, please, Rasi must play. Riza doesn't play long innings like Rasi does. Nokia is a hitman with those bouncers. Yeah, 100%. Lorenzo says, don't think it's Aiden haters. The criticism Aiden got was justified. And I think it was. I agree with Lorenzo in this. It was justified. But we also need to think a little bit deeper when it comes to cricketers and criticizing them. I think we need to be a little bit more analytical with our thinking and look at situations and circumstances too. That counts. Circumstances count a lot, and when those runs are scored, when those wickets are taken, how those wickets are taken are all very important. Australia series, in my opinion, for Rasi to get in form. Lorenzo Moin Ali averages 25 with the bat and 49 with the ball. Aiden averages 33 with the bat and 37 with the ball. Surely he is a better all-rounder than Moin. Definitely our best all-rounder is Kani. Bold statement over there. Khalid, I must say, through overs 8 to 15, we nearly threw it away with our bowling, but they brought the control in at crucial times. I mean, bringing on Magala was brilliant, and he was fantastic. So that's my summary, and that's some of your thoughts that you guys said in the live chat. Let's bring on the first caller. Let's bring on someone that hasn't been on the channel for a long time. I've been waiting for him to call in, and that's Stuart. Welcome to the show, brother. How are you doing?
No, I'm good, thanks. How are you doing, Khalid?
That's good. I'm okay. I'm lukewarm, I guess. I was happy about the Proteas' victory, and then the Man United went to go put in a stinking performance like they did today. So
Oh,
that
that's good.
kind of rocked me a bit tonight. But it's good to see you. How's everything going in with you?
No, all good. Just been busy with varsity and yeah, I'm just assignments, so that's why I haven't been on.
Mm.
But I'm happy that the IPL's on and the Proteas are playing well at the moment. So yeah, things are looking good. How's everything your side, other than
Yeah,
Man
it's
United?
yeah, it's been okay. I mean, we've been working hard, of course, trying to give as much content as possible on Cricket Fanatics and across platforms. But at least we got a victory today, so let's talk about that. What is your thoughts on this particular team? Let's talk about Aiden Markram's 100. I mean, you've been an advocate for him for quite some time. You've obviously spoken a lot about him in the group, and I know you're also an advocate for young players and putting young players in the team, which I also am a big fan of. I think we only maybe differ on the timing of it, but I think that will obviously change with both of us as we have more conversations and think about what's more logical at particular times. But what is your thoughts on Aiden? particularly? Let's start with his innings.
Yeah, I must say I was very, very happy to see him get a big 100. For me, it's at least now it's like that, pressure of not having an ODI 100. It's now off his shoulders, and he can at least go on and play a lot more confidently. I think we saw in the SA20 his game, he came back quite strong after being dropped. And, in the Test series, he's played quite well. And aside from Temba, I think he's actually been one of our better batters since he's come back into the team on a consistent basis. So I was really happy to see him score runs. Um, I see why he's still batting at 4, and I know it worked today. Um, my personal preference would be to still let him open. But I understand that, a lot of people make good points. It's what the team needs for him batting at 4. But I think he played really well today. I thought David Miller, I was very happy that he got a good 90 as well. I thought, he hasn't been in bad form, but if you look at the T20 series against the West Indies, he didn't really fire properly. And I think it was just nice for him to end the summer off with a nice score. So overall, I was very happy with the batting, particularly by those two. I agree with you that, at the beginning, a few guys threw their wickets away, and I was also a little bit upset that I felt Klaasen also gave his wickets away a little bit. Because he was playing quite nicely. But yeah, the batting was really good. I was a bit worried about the bowling at the start. I thought we could have been a little bit more, I don't want to say like ruthless. But having said that, we also got to say the Netherlands batted well. I know you know this, but I'm a bit worried about Shamsi's form at the moment.
Yeah, me too.
I know he, like as a wrist spinner in India, I think he'll do a good job there. But I'm just a bit worried because I'm thinking, if he's going into the World Cup on the subcontinent being like unconfident, it's not a good sign for us. So I don't know. Is he going to the IPL?
No, he's not. He wasn't picked up in the IPL. No.
Okay. I was going to say it actually might have been good if he was there, and then could have got some confidence if he played. But yeah, overall, I was very happy, and I must say the one person I'm very happy to see do well and see him back in form is Temba. I don't know what he did after the Australian series, but man, this guy's just scoring runs for fun at the moment. So yeah, long may it continue.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a bit to talk about because South Africa's it's not in our hands anymore. Now we've done what we need to do. It's now up to Ireland and Bangladesh. It's actually up to Bangladesh to beat Ireland, and I hope that Bangladesh doesn't go into that particular series like it's not doesn't count for anything. I hope they don't go for with that mentality. So we obviously need Ireland to lose at least one match for us to qualify now. But have you seen an improvement in this team? I mean, obviously, we've been following South Africa. We've been talking about South Africa for quite some time now, over a couple of years now, or at least the entire year you've been with us, talking to us. So, what is your thoughts on the improvements? Have you seen an improvement in the mentality of our players, particularly? Let's just talk about all formats here.
I think what. Even in the past 6 months, I've seen a huge improvement. I think the biggest thing I've noticed is the batting. It looks like people are a lot more confident in their game plans across the formats. And I think you can also. I think the new coaches have also been quite a nice change up. I think Shukri, having a good relationship with guys like Aiden and the guys he's worked with at Tux and the under-19s has been amazing. And obviously Rob Walter is very experienced as a coach as well. So I'm very happy. It almost seems like they're playing without baggage anymore. That's the feeling that I've got. And you can see you take someone like Temba. I think the biggest thing that's helped him is giving up the T20 um, captaincy, because um, we all knew how good he was in tests and one day cricket, but he was struggling a bit in T20 cricket, and now he hasn't got that burden that he has to worry about, and you can see um, it's translated into his form picking up. And I think you mentioned he's done a lot of work with Justin Salmons. Um, so yeah, I'm really, really happy with these guys, and yeah, long may it continue. I actually would like us. I know it's going to sound highly controversial, but I think even if we did play the qualifiers for the World Cup, I don't think it's the end of the world, if I'm honest with you, because it gives our guys more games going into the World Cup. And like guys like Rassi, I know he scored 100, as someone mentioned in the chats, against England a few innings ago. But just to get their confidence back going into the World Cup, I don't think it's what do you call it, like the end of the world if we have to go qualify.
Mhm. I get that view as well. A lot of people have actually mentioned that they would rather want to see us play those qualifiers and get some momentum. Um, I do think that from Lorenzo makes an interesting point of view that I think is true. As I said on a previous show, I just hope Rob selects players consistently, as we don't have enough time to chop and change unnecessarily. We first have to find our best 11 in first, in my opinion. There aren't enough games to do that right now. So I think that he has selected this squad, this team, and I think that he thinks that this is our best squad that we have available to us in ODI cricket.
Mm,
So I don't think he would have went into such an important series with a team that has some weak players that he might not trust or back. So I think we're on the right path. And I know I said previously, based on what I was told about from the media manager, etc., that Timba worked with Justin Salmons. I think as well with Neil McKenzie, and I think now as well with JP Dumini, but with Shukri particularly, I want to praise for that, because I think that I've seen an improvement since they've had conversations. I've seen an improvement in his mentality, in his mood, in his confidence. I think that's the major turnaround here in his confidence. He doesn't doubt himself anymore. Like even today with the loss of his wicket, he went out playing an attacking shot, and a shot that he was trusting and he trusted in the previous game. So I'd rather see that happen than him being completely bamboozled and looking clueless at the wicket. I think
mm,
that's something that you don't really want to see, because there were certain wickets that there were certain occasions where Temba didn't he went out in matches and he didn't really look comfortable at the crease. Whereas
mm.
today it looked like it was very difficult to start the innings going. So Stuart, I don't know how long you've got, but if you want to give me some of your final thoughts and maybe looking ahead now going forward, um, take the positives and maybe take some criticisms away. Where do you think we can improve still?
Yeah, look, I I think we've got like a good experienced core group of players going into this World Cup, and um, I think like I'm especially after the England series and West Indies and now the Netherlands, I'm feeling a lot more optimistic going into the World Cup. And you can see guys confidence in their game plans, and um, it looks like we almost in the perfect frame of mind now, like going into a World Cup. Um, Look, obviously there's certain aspects of individual games like today. I felt at the start we were a little bit what do you call it, like loose with our bowling. I felt we could have been a bit more ruthless, but I mean, you're not going to get everything right all the time. And
Mm,
um, the thing that I'm liking at the moment is you can see there's almost not almost, there is a long term um, plan coming through with the management, and you could see like had a bit of a rest period, which we've talked about quite a lot. So you can see there's like I know you did the presser of I think it's Enoch and Rob talking about 2027. I'm still more focused on the 2027 camp, in my opinion, but I'm happy to see that we're playing well. And yeah, I mean, even if you look at the cock, he's also, I know he didn't really score runs today, but the other nights he got 100 in the T20. So our batters are, which has arguably been well, not arguably, it's been one of our most vulnerable things in the past year,
Yeah,
has drastically improved in the
100%.
space of a few games.
Mm.
And for me, it's awesome to see. Um, Sorry, I was also just reading through the chat. I saw Lorenzo said, talking about Faf's availability. Um, Khalid, I don't know what your opinion is on this, because I know you like Faf a lot, and um, I look, obviously I saw he scored runs tonight for the Royal Challengers. Um, I personally wouldn't take Faf, if I'm honest with you, to the World Cup. Um, I know he's a great player, and I'm not questioning his leadership ability. He's an amazing player in person, but I just think our teams just started to gel, and Faf is such a strong leader. And especially if you bring him back in the T20 setup, Aiden's a new captain. I think it could be a little bit overwhelming for him, knowing he's got a guy in the setup. He's done so well, and
Mm.
it's like I don't want it to blur any lines. Like I I
Yeah,
just think it's also it's also not fair to go now to someone like Rassi, because I know someone said Rassi could be dropped. I don't think it's fair if guys have been playing for like 3-4 years and have been getting you results to now say, actually, he's now available to play in the World Cup, so you drop.
yeah,
Um, Faf even mentioned a similar scenario with AB in his book. And for me, I've kind of got that in that sort of mentality with him. I'm not disputing his form. I'm not disputing his leadership skills. I don't think it's a right call in my personal opinion. But
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So my opinion on this is that we mustn't mix up the formats. So Faf du Plessis hasn't played ODI cricket in quite some time now. He's been really good in T20 cricket. We don't know how he will be in ODI cricket or in one day international cricket. So in my opinion, I would consider maybe for T20 cricket, if for
mm,
someone like Riley Russell, perhaps if Riley's going to continuously be inconsistent the way he is, there could be a possibility that we could play someone like Faf in that number three position, or even open with him and play Riza at three. The problem with Faf coming in is that you're going to have a consideration of one of either Quinton or Riza getting dropped. And I don't think it's fair on Riza. He deserves his spot. He should be the number
yeah,
one opener on the team sheet in T20 cricket at the moment. So I don't know about us forcing him into the side. I think if there's a gap, if someone's not doing well, and someone we're not getting out of a player what we want, then we can consider getting a freelance player like Faf du Plessis. We
mm,
did ask the question in the press conferences to Rob and to Enoch, and they both spoke about it, saying that they're in talks with regards to freelance cricketers and having freelance contracts, but it's not completely confirmed yet. So whether that will be completely confirmed by the next T20 World Cup, we'll have to see. But for the 2023 World Cup, I think it will be too disruptive to bring Faf
yeah,
back, especially when he hasn't really played List A cricket or ODI cricket at all.
mm, yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
I agree
any
100%.
any final thoughts there, Stu?
Um, yeah, well, I just forgot my 7 Up can before I came on. No, but I was just sorry. I was just reading through some of the comments. DC Stubbs is a long-term replacement for Miller, considering that he's 34 this year. Um, yeah, I think Stubbs has a potential. Like I mean, last year in England, I thought he played quite well, and I thought he had like some good knocks on the SA20. I just think the price tag, was a bit like maybe weighed a bit too much on him at some points. But I definitely think he's someone that's improving, and he's got the ability to maybe. I think they're different players. It's a bit unfair to compare them, but I think he could, in a way, be like a new finisher in our white ball. cricket. And then Dewald, oh, Khalid knows how much I want him in the team. But I think, it's also, he also has to get some more experience. I also think, Khalid's pointed out on multiple occasions he's shown some vulnerability against the short ball. So I think he's still got a bit to improve before he gets in the Proteas team.
Yeah, my mindset's changed a little bit on that short ball thing. I think it's more that bowlers are starting to like find out what they can do. They're finding out his vulnerabilities, and I think that he's young, and I think he still needs to develop. I don't think you see when giving youngsters a chance. If a player is already a holistic player
Mm,
and they already understand their game, that's when I will say, okay, cool, go ahead, put them in. Like I think that Tristan Stubbs' game is pretty. He understands his game. I think it's more about confidence and choosing the right shot selection when he's playing international cricket. Because in
mm,
international cricket, as we know, the consistencies are different. So when you're looking at a complete player, I don't think Dewald is a complete player yet. There's still a lot for him to learn. So to
mm,
throw him into the mix in international cricket where the pressure is ridiculous, putting all that pressure on him, it's going to come with his name. He's already has this name and this nickname behind him, and everybody expects so much from him at this young age. I think that, well, like here, Tivani saying that Shashan played at 16. Shashan played at 16, yes, but Shashan played first class cricket and scored multiple hundreds at first class level before he got selected as a 16-year-old. So my
mm,
opinion is that Devan needs to go play. I believe that players should only get an opportunity to be rushed into a international side if they played first class cricket, showed their abilities, because first class cricket will show you how much a player understands his game. Ryan Rickerton, is a good example. When we looked at him in the domestic season, we all said that he should be selected. I think I was maybe one of the only ones that said we should be patient with him, and a lot of the fans said, "Look here, we must push him straight into the team, etc." And he struggled. If he struggled to find his way, he started looking a bit vulnerable, started looking a little bit scared. Look at Klassen. Klassen should be 100% certain, but he looked scared at the crease in Test cricket, for example. But in his white ball form, is fantastic. Like he looks like he's comfortable there. He's not scared. So throwing in a youngster in early, it does depend for me on the situation, on how he scores his run domestically, on how holistic his game is overall. That's just my opinion on that particular matter. So I love Deva Brevis too. I mean, we were the first people to actually, like one of the first people to actually interview him and give him his limelight and chat to him. I think we've interviewed him more than majority of players in the country. So I'm a big fan and I'm an advocate for him. But I mean, we want him in the international side. There's enough time for Dewald Bevis to ease himself into the side. Riley Rousseau is still there. David Miller is still there. They're getting older now. I mean, we can see the end of them before Dewald Bevis comes in with a new bunch of youngsters that can learn together again. I think so. There's time. There's still Jordan Herman. There's still Matthew Britsky. There's all these other
yeah,
talented young batters that I think are ahead of Dewald at the moment. They understand the game better. They are a lot more comfortable in their game. They've scored more runs than him in SA20. So I mean, Deva doesn't even start in the Mumbai Indians team at the moment,
yeah,
and he struggled in the SA20 for my Cape Town as soon as they started to find him out. So there's time. We should be patient with him. We have an excellent talent as long as they have a plan for him and they give
yeah,
him a proper plan and tell him, look here, this is your progression and this is how you're going to go into the future. A PDP plan, basically, a personal development plan.
So my biggest thing with him, like I worry about, so I could almost see him being, I don't know. I know he said to you that he wants to, play for the Proteas, and I don't like I don't dispute that. But my worry is I just sometimes think he might actually be the type of person that will go sign a, what do you call it, like a become a contracted cricketer like Riley was and go play in the Big Bash and
I don't
stuff
think
like
so.
that. So I hope he doesn't. Like
Yeah.
that's my thing, and that's why I think a part of me wants him to just be put in the system now, even though it might be the wrong thing. Because I'm like, I don't want you to fall
The
through
thing
the.
is, the thing is, even if we do that, it's not going to stop him from wanting to go as a contracted
Mm,
player. So, like, if he is that way, playing him and pushing him into the side is not going to stop him. Riley Rousseau didn't stop him. We backed him. We put him in the international side, and he still signed the Carlsberg deal, even though we were backing him. So, if a player's mentality is like that, I feel that they will do it either way. Previous from the conversations I've had with him, I think his father also keeps him very grounded. I think his mindset is on the right time frame. He wants to play Test cricket, and I mean, if he wants to play Test cricket, he needs to improve his first class game. I watched his first class game back. I mean, I watched the pitch vision highlights of it, and people that say that he doesn't have an offside game in T20 cricket, you can't really assess that. Sometimes you're going to play the shots that suits you because you're going to be under a lot of pressure to score runs. Yeah, if you watched him in the first class games, he did have an offside game. He played the short ball pretty decently as well. But I mean, it depends that the pace that is coming at you. But I still think that he needs some more experience. He needs some more time, and he will come. The time will be right. And I trust Shukri, and I trust Rob, and I trust Enoch to make the right decision on that. I don't think we have a regime now that's not going to communicate with players.
Yeah.
So far, players have been communicated with, and even if they're not selected, like they communicated with Verena and explained to him why was not explained to him, but I think Shukri did call him up, or Enoch did call him up. I'm pretty sure certain that they probably did to let him know. And I think that that's the difference now is that for the first time ever, we've got coaches that are involved with the selection of the team, which I think is very pivotal because having a selection panel that's outside of the brains trust could be quite dangerous. At least if the coaches are speaking directly, the players know that it's the coach. It's not a
Mm,
selector that doesn't want team. It's not this person. There's no excuses.
mm,
So they know exactly what the coaches need from them and what the coaches want from them. And I think this regime, the way we're going forward, the mentality that we're building. I mean, even with a player like Winnie, he looks a lot more happy on the field. He's looking like he's having fun and he's smiling again, joking with players. He looks a lot more settled. And I think that probably has a lot to do with that first ODI series that Shukri was at the helm. I think that he would have probably given them a conversation that is maybe a little bit different to what they are used to, and then Rob backing that up and the foundation that was set. Because Rob made it very clear that Shukri set that foundation when he wasn't available. So it started. He said this the new regime started when Shukri took over that ODI team in that first series.
mm.
Yeah. Final thoughts, Stu?
Um, yeah, it's I think overall I'm very happy with everything that's going on. There's also, well, I think you said it was confirmed the other day about Bellingham coming back from the UK. So for me, I think that's good news. Yeah, I think for me, I'm very positive about our cricket at the moment. You can see we're on an upward trajectory. And yeah, look, I know a lot of people are saying we are struggling to take wickets in the power play. I think we are, but also I think we also have the bowling attack who can bring it back, as we saw today. Um, but having said that, I think we need to figure out ways of how we can get around that. So I don't know. I think when KG comes back, it might be a little bit better. I know it's unfair to say, he'll just save the power play and whatever. But I think all in all, it's looking very positive. And I'm still, as I said, more focused on 2027. And for me, if we do well in this World Cup, and for me doing well is reaching, I don't know if it goes quarterfinals or semis, but if we get out of the group stages, I'm very happy. Because yeah, I just think we've shown a lot of improvement. Um, I just think we need to figure out the spinners that we're going to take to the World Cup. For me, that's going to be important. Um, and I was actually chatting to Ashwani about it the other day. In 2011, remember they took Johan Botha, Robin Peterson, and I think it was Imran Tahir as the three different types of spinners. So I don't know if it will turn as much as it did back then, but
Mm.
I don't think it's maybe a bad shot, possibly discussing, maybe taking different types of spinners to the World Cup, depending on the conditions. The only thing is, aside from Shamsi, I don't know of a lot of wrist spinners in South Africa. So hopefully he can find a way to get his confidence back, because we know how good he can be when he's in form.
Stu, thanks a lot for coming on the show, bro. I know you have a lot of work to do. Good luck with that, and I hope I speak to you very soon.
Thanks for having me. It was awesome being back.
Thank you, bro. I'll see you soon.
Cheers,
Cheers.
guys.
Yeah, so Stu, thanks. Thank you for Stuart to coming on. I just want to give you guys a confirmation. So Werner tweeted this as well. He said that as things stand, according to the FTP, the only matches remaining for the Proteas for the year, apart from the World Cup, if Ireland don't spring a surprise, five ODIs and three T20Is versus Australia in August, September, and then we have that Test series against India at the end of the year. So I'm hoping, of course, that we can get a couple of more games in between, and I hope that we can get some extra SAA games and SA emerging games in between there as well for the players that maybe are not going to play cricket. I think it's very important. Players are not going to go overseas to play cricket. I think it's going to be very important for the development of our players. Um, it's going to be a tough selection call for Rob going forward between Ngidi and Magala, and even with KG. I mean, KG was dropped today for Ngidi. So it's going to be interesting what they're going to do. I wasn't very happy with Magala's batting performance today. I thought that he was trying a little bit too many fancy things when he could have just played his natural game, which is to stand and deliver. But okay, it is what it is. He did excellently with the bat with that 5 point. We need to praise, and we need to remember that rather than the negatives. I'm trying to be positive that we will have fixed our ability to create pressure in power play and control the run rate. So far, so good, I think. I mean, we there's still an improvements there with Quinny and consistency though. Rassi isn't in form is really worrying, and when will Quinton de Kock perform really poor? Yeah, Quinton de Kock needs to find a lot more consistency in his batting. Um, we used to him scoring in clusters when he scores half centuries. And when he scores milestones usually, but this time around he didn't do it, which is a bit different to what we are normally used to. Um, who should be the spinners in who should be the spinners in India while Keshav Maharaj be available? It all depends on how quickly he recovers from his surgery. I will try to get in touch with Keshav to find out how he is doing. I want to see old KG, 145 miles per hour. I think a little bit of rest might help him do so. We don't take wickets in power play and give runs, 60 runs for 1 wicket in both matches for the Dutch. Yeah, but also um, that's also got a lot to do with the conditions as well. What do we do in the winter will determine how well we do in the World Cup. That's very true as well. My three spinners for India, Shamsi, Bjorn, and Linda. Interesting choices over there, where I do think that they are starting to see Aiden as a more. They're starting to see Aiden as more of an all rounder. I don't think he's a fully fledged all rounder like people like to use on Twitter, but I do think that he is becoming more and more of an all-rounder. Khalid, June, July, no cricket. It hasn't been confirmed yet. When it does, I will let you guys know immediately. The Cock has a career average of 45 in ODI cricket, and he just had a difficult time in this series to get himself runs in the power play specifically. Dutch took more wickets and gave less runs, so can't say it depends on the pitch. You can say it depends on the pitch because the pitch changes. The pitch changes according to how much the sun bakes on the wicket, especially at the Wanderers when the high felt when it's hot. The wicket changes a lot when the sun is baking on it. There's normally in the middle when they water the pitch, etc. It will do a little bit less, or do a little bit more, and especially in morning games like we had today, the overhead conditions do play a part, or the morning mist does do play its part in the morning. And then as the sun bakes on it longer, the pitch changes. um, bring back Tahir, says Gaurav. I don't think that's going to happen, even though I would have liked it previously. Riley left because he didn't get a chance to play Test cricket. No, that's not. I don't think that's the reason. I think Riley left because he got a good deal and money for his family. Holly explained the experience and concerns in earlier comments. Holly now Aiden will captain Hyderabad. Yes, he will. In a previous continuity. Uh, I'm trying to be positive that we will have fixed ability to create pressure. Yes, you did say that. Okay, I can't find it now, bro. We need to bring Linda. Big tail doesn't help. Will Linda be able to play that role at 7 or 8, though? That's my concern. Because he also takes time for himself to get in when he plays for Western Province because he bats a little higher. He bats 5. So I would be interested to see. I mean, we might as well try it. Khalid, will Duplessis come now? Do you think? I don't think so. Not in ODI cricket. I don't think. I mean, I wouldn't favor him coming back in ODI cricket because he's barely played List A cricket or ODI cricket for a long time. He's become a T20 specialist at the moment. So if we ever do consider him, it will be in T20 cricket, in my opinion. Linda at 7 and Jansen at 7 and Linda at 8. Yeah, like I said, Linda hasn't played at 8 enough at domestic level for me to say whether he's a good number 8 or not. He's a good batter, in my opinion. But I've only ever seen him bat up the order early. He doesn't normally come in that low. So similarly to players like maybe Heinrich Klaassen, David Miller, they come in, they get their eye in, and then they go gunzo. And I think that Linda, that's a bit low for Linda at 8. I don't think he's going to come out and just smack immediately. And then we're going to have the same conversations that we're having here about the fact that we don't have enough all rounders in South Africa. Linda for me is a top order. If you're going to pick him, I think he should bat at 6 or 5 or 6. That's where he should bat, in my opinion, because I think that's where he is at his best. But batting him at 8 might be a little bit too low for him, dependable on when he comes into the innings, of course. If there's overs and we've lost a couple of wickets, then yeah, I think that would be great for Linda. I have yet to see him come in and hit the ball immediately in ODI cricket specifically. I've yet to see him come in and just smash the ball immediately. So, yeah, this is my opinion on it. I might not be right though. I'm just giving my opinion on it. Khalid, I like what Alvaro said in commentary that an average is no longer the only parameter for rating ODI batter, but also strike rate. Yes, we've been talking about that on this channel for a very long time. But Riza has scored runs now. Doesn't necessarily, yes, but that's why I say it doesn't matter. Like, just because you want Faf back, you can't just force him into wherever there's a gap in whatever format. You know, you need to pick him in the format that he's being the best, that he's playing the best at. So for me, Riza's batting fantastically. So there's maybe no reason to bring back Faf if you're going to open with him. But I also think that Faf has the ability to bat at 3. For someone like Riley, if Riley's not going to show more consistency in T20 cricket. Aiden, captain ODI. Really, I think Pavuma's a good captain in ODI cricket and in Test cricket. So I don't know why we want to change it. Vice captain Aiden, brilliant. He can still lead from as a vice captain. Riley should come back in ODI cricket, but if someone gets injured in our top 6, I'm not a big fan of Riley coming back in ODI cricket, especially when he's not been playing much ODI limited overs cricket. Sorry, yeah, list A cricket. Sorry. Waka said it's a little low for George. He will be a number 8 then he will be a better number 8 than our bowlers, says Gorav. Linda 7 and Jansen at 8 maybe. Shamsi will, that's a good option as well. Shamsi will get hammered, but it depends on what you guys expect from your number 7 and 8. What would you like your number 7 and 8 to do? That's the question. Shamsi will get hammered in India, shouldn't select him, average since 2 years. Faf for Riley, says Gorav. Riza for Quinton de Kock. We were too complacent in the field. We have been quite a few games. Markham is a joy to watch, especially those cover drives. Khalid, I was saying about the experience. I was surprised that the stadium was not full, considering that the tickets were sold out on Ticket Pro. Was it sold out on Ticket Pro? I thought it wouldn't be because the tickets were expensive. And you said the stadium was empty. That's shocking, actually. Normally, the Wanderers Pink Day is completely sold out. Every single Pink Day that I've been to has been sold out and packed. Welcome to Captain Audio after the World Cup. Ethan Bosch continues to be overlooked, and why? Because because he's had one very good season. That's not he's not being overlooked. Who does he come in for? That's the question. I know you guys are all saying all these players' names, but you only have 11 spots in a 11. So where you want to fit them in, you can let me know. We need a spinning all rounder like Jadeja for India, who is that in SA. It was supposed to be Linda, and I hope that they're still having conversations with him. But I give full credit to CSA for planning it. It was a very organized and crowd came through for the boys when they were needed in 12th man. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell for all future videos. Also, what I'd like you guys to please do is smash the like button, comment, and share. It's very important that you do so that we can get into YouTube algorithms. Download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. Also, help us promote and grow South African cricket by becoming a patron today. This will also help the company, Cricket Fanatics magazine, grow as well by becoming a patron. So click on the link is on the screen and click on the link in the description as well. And then go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates. Guys, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Um, and I'll see you guys again. When is it now? I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another daily show. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening and have a great week, guys. Be positive, be happy, stay focused, work hard, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace out.